Hi, my name is Juan Sebastian Valencia. I'm the filmmaker behind Kisses to Kevin. Today, I'm going to share a commentary of how I shot this film. This video is presented by Bo, the home for LGBT romance. Go to My Bo TV on YouTube and check it out. This short film is also part of my Pride Love Story collection. You can check them all out at pridelovestories.com. I'm going to start the movie. You can follow along. I'll be stopping and sharing how I did some of the scenes. This is an uncut video, so forgive me for the mistakes I make in English. But let's start the movie. Okay, let me stop right there because this first scene was very interesting to shoot because all of what you're seeing is just like, I was just shooting that specific moment. Shooting a sex scene for me specifically as a director is very uncomfortable. Being in that environment, it's a little bit uncomfortable, and I know the whole crew is also not in the best pace. So you have to, in my consideration, you have to be very fast, and you also have to work a very ethical environment. Take care of the actors, take care of the crew. So I didn't want the actors to just kiss and do whatever while I was shooting. I wanted everything to be very choreographed. So I did a very specific shot list. I knew what was the shot when they were going to hold hands, and that's it. I was just shooting, okay, hold hands, cut. Now you're going to look at him, I'm going to tilt the camera, cut. So every shot you're seeing is just that moment specifically choreographed for what you're seeing. When they kissed, it was just that 3-second kiss. They were not kissing after we finished, after we cut. And even the sounds of the whole scene, like those sex noises, they were recorded separately. And they're super funny how it was recorded. If you want to see some of this takes and shots that never got into the film or how it was made, you can check the behind the scenes special on my YouTube channel, or you can also check some deleted scenes on Bo's Patreon. But let's continue. So you see the moment he's like grabbing his like shoulder, that was the whole shot. That was all I did. I was like, okay, now we're going to grab shoulder, that's it. Also the feet is like, they were actually sitting down, move your feet, shoot that, that's it. We had Juliet Restrepo, who was also the producer of this film. She was helping with everything, and she was putting water. We did it with a mix of water and glycerin, and that's what they have in their faces to make it feel like it's very sweaty. The whole production, this was shot in my old apartment. I was living with a roommate. He had a bigger room, and we shot in his room. The whole room had white walls, and I hate white walls, but usually I'm in rented places, so I cannot paint them. So Sabrina Suarez from Argentina was doing the whole production design, and she created this like type of wallpaper that it was actually like a print and painted by also Laura, one of her assistants here in Los Angeles. And the idea was to create a wallpaper that was not going to be pasted in the wall, so I didn't have a problem with the landlord and my roommate, and that we can take it out, and that it gave it a little bit of texture to the room and personality to the room according to the character. And if you see a little bit close to the wallpaper, it's a face, and that's the face of Sabrina Suarez, the production designer of the film. Cut again. That was the longest kiss that we shot, that one and the one at the end. And that's the whole moment. I was very grateful with Mackenzie and Michael, who played the two characters, because they were very committed and they actually created like a kind of really intimate relationship between them and me before shooting. So this was easy to shoot, and at least fast. Let me right there. Well, I want to say before the shot where you see the whole, let me go a little bit back, where you see right here, this pictures. The picture of the cat is my cat Martina. You're going to see my 3 cats pictures in different places of all of my short films. And we also had with Sabrina this idea of, since he's in love with Ghostbusters, but we couldn't use Ghostbusters because of copyright. So how could we bring a little bit of that essence to Ghostbusters? And those are the ghosts that you're going to see. But yeah, let me continue. So if you see the shot of the feet, of the food, it's only Michael's food because Mackenzie was not there. So I was just asking him, please move it a moment. And it actually works. You actually think the 2 of them are there. I love the kisses because the kisses look very, very real. And I was very worried because this short film is about kissing Kevin, and I needed it to feel real, passionate, intimate. And that was only possible because the 2 actors really committed to do it. And the way I helped them was to really prepare the scene so we could have it in just 1 take. It was not like 3 takes, let's do it again, just 1 take. So they knew they will give it all. And me being in the camera, I'll give it all to do it perfect, so we didn't need it to repeat. Those 2 moments are very, very, very subtle, and I feel they are a proof of what the LGBT community handles in this type of situations. And I wanted, since this short film is for Pride and it's a gift to my gay community and my LGBT community, I wanted them to see those things that we only know, that we can understand. So Mackenzie is taking out the condom, and we don't see it, but we see a little bit of the action, or Sam, the character of Sam. And the character of Kevin is actually cleaning himself after he finishes. And I just wanted it to make it feel very real. And if a gay guy was in this movie, they could see those small details and actually feel they had just had sex.
Wow, indeed.
Never done all that before, to be honest.
Yeah, well.
Let me stop it right there. So what I'm doing right there is just putting the camera, everything was shot with just 1 camera, of course. So I'm doing shot by shot. And I just decided this was one of the shots from my shot list that I knew I wanted to make it very intimate and real, and in a way for us to feel we were with them in that bed. So 1 camera is next to Michael pointing to Sam, and the other one is near Sam or Mackenzie pointing to Michael or Kevin. And since all of these short films are shot with a very small crew, I didn't have a first AC, a second AC, so we're working a lot with autofocus. And sometimes that autofocus plays a difficult game. But when I was editing the film was me trying to see how those focuses that were like a little bit soft or that they were changing could be still part of the story. And I feel you'll see, I just stopped it because there was one, and it's a little bit of how he's trying to, at least that was the reason I gave myself. It's like he's trying to see who this person really is next to him. So we see him blurry and we go back, and anyways.
I'm glad you finally decided to accept. You're very cute.
You seem very different from your pictures. In a good way.
I get that a lot.
There's people in this world that are meant to meet but don't because of a picture. Can you believe that?
That dialogue was one of the most important dialogues for me from the moment I was making the film, like since the moment I was auditioning, because it's a very difficult dialogue. It could sound very fake. Who speaks like that? Who says that? Of course, Kevin does. And the reason why I picked Michael Gold to be Kevin was because of how he was being very real with every word. If you go to his audition is also available on both Patreon. You'll see how he takes time to say each word, how he's really first feeling what he's about to say and then saying it. And when I saw him in the audition saying this exact text, I knew he was Kevin. And I'm so glad he was able to again feel, for me, a difficult dialogue that could sound very like written and fake, and he makes it his own.
Yeah, the world is very narcissistic.
But I didn't meet you because of your picture.
Yeah, right. Why is that? After all this time that I asked you to hang.
I don't do random hookups.
Oh, why not?
I don't believe your body should be shared to strangers.
Really?
This whole conversation, I was able to write it down based on many of my experiences, but also based on experiences from my friends. Especially here in LA, this short film was written when I was a few years just like moving and adapting to the city. And this whole hookup culture was a little bit different from what I was used to in Colombia, and the way guys approach sexuality and their conversations and the whole apps. So for me, it was very, very important to explore those type of conversations I have had with other guys have had with me, or that I have heard with friends. And just listening to this just takes me back like to those many conversations I have with so many people that really wanted a relationship, but because they were just in this whole hookup culture, they didn't know how to take the next step. And that was, for me, part of the reason why I was writing this short film. Kevin knows he wants and he's willing to take that step. Sam doesn't want it, but he will evolve to be there, to get there, to want a little bit more.
Okay? Like you said, you've been asking for, I don't know, 2 years? Talk to me about your cat.
I don't talk about her to anyone.
I feel I know you a bit.
Yeah.
Just to share a little bit of intimacy, when they're saying about that, it was me trying to connect. Usually when I write stories, all of the characters have things from me. And when he's talking about the cat, it was very interesting for me to give that to Sam, because I don't have my cats any longer with me, and I keep them very close. And it took me many years for me to start talking about them and then putting them in my movies. And I felt it was such an interesting thing to give to Sam because it showed how he never opened that much, but he did open to Kevin. He did tell him something that he didn't share with anyone, that was about his cat. And when Kevin says this to Sam, Sam immediately reminds himself like, oh yeah, I actually did share some intimate information with this guy. Why?
Well, you don't.
Could. I am. At least I did a bit.
You did good. Well, I better be going.
Want to try some brownies?
Some things that happen here. First of all, of course, they are always wearing underwear. It was just that shot. They were always wearing pants most of the times when we were shooting the film, underwear, pants. And that I wanted also to play a lot with the skin. I wanted to see the other character through the skin and always like the other character touching the skin of the other one. And you'll see this in the shots. Now that we're able to see the only window that's there on the right, that was the only window that the room had. And this room was in a second floor. And there was a huge gap from the window, like to something that I could put like a tripod. But we did. I put a light outside the window, very far away. I added a Fresnel mount, so it was more powerful because I wanted this light to come inside the room away again because we were debating if this short film was going to be shot at night or in the day. And I love the day, not just because of the heat, because we will feel a little bit of LA, but because it was light coming into their lives. Both of them are light for each one. So this aggressive, very intensive light coming in was part of their need, their internal need. So it was very important to bring it. I bought like this, not a smoke machine, but the sprays. And we were spraying all the time just to give that haze and just give a little bit of more texture to the whole environment. I think actually it adds a lot of texture to the image. And I also had, so one light was coming from the window, and I had another light from the door that you'll see in a moment. That light was hitting a mirror, and that mirror was being reflected on the picture that on the wallpaper, a little bit like giving this texture. Again, since this was shot with a very tight crew, I didn't have this many assistants like you usually have in a production just to move lights. I didn't have grips, so we had a very tight crew and not so much equipment. So it was very how can we? I have a saying that it's let's make the best lemonade with the lemons we got, and that was what we were trying to do.
I don't think I can. Besides, I don't want this to be misinterpreted.
Having brownies?
I told you, I don't date.
Oh my god. You were just exactly like everyone else. You think that because we had sex and I'm inviting you to brownies, I'm hoping to date?
I don't want you to get confused.
You can see the light coming from the window, how it creates this texture also on Mackenzie. And that was the idea, since this whole room was basically white, and I needed it to have texture so it could look cinematic. And I only had this wallpaper. It was very crazy just to put wallpaper all over the room. So my idea was just trying to create textures with the white walls. So even if you're seeing white, you probably are going to see it more yellow, and you're going to see some kind of light texture, just to create more, like a little bit of more depth, more texture in the image.
Hook up often.
And you do?
Yeah, I don't have a problem hooking up with other people. In fact, I think it's actually good for me since I'm not that social.
Not that social either.
Don't judge.
This the moment when he's saying don't judge, because me as a writer, I was actually judging a lot Sam at this moment. And when he says that, sometimes when you're writing, the best moments are when the character actually says something that you didn't plan for, because you know where you're going to, but the character lives, has its own life. And when you are just texting or writing, sometimes the character says something that you never thought of it. And the character speaks, and you as a writer, you don't feel you're writing it, you feel you're listening to. And this was the moment when I started listening a lot to Sam, understanding his quest, and being able to create these two very different characters. The one that doesn't date because of these reasons, and the other point of view. And that separation was very good for me, because this is a gift, again, for my community during Pride. And I wanted everyone to feel related to the film. So there are Sams and there are Kevins, and I feel that this moment differentiates both. And if you are feeling related to one of the other one, this is the moment.
Just the fact you don't want to try the best brownies in LA. They have caramel and hot fudge.
This type of things were just added by the actor, like him playing with his eyes, which he has beautiful eyes, but I never gave him that direction. He did it probably in the first take or the rehearsal, and I found it so nice that I told him, we have to keep this. This is very nice that you're even trying to convince him with your physicality. And I love that. And I love, of course, the fact that they are talking about ice cream. People who know me know that I love ice cream. I love making ice cream. I love making desserts. So that was a little bit of me bringing to the character of Kevin. Like I said, I bring to both characters a little bit of me, and that's one of them.
You're really annoying. You know that?
Stop.
Come here. Come here.
Stop.
So I love this moment when they go to play with the tickles and stuff, because when we were shooting, everyone thought it was a little bit corny and that it was not going to look good. And I knew I wanted to create like an emotional contrast, and how, like, it's always, they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. So they had just this very deep conversation. They break it with the tickles. Then they look at each other. They go again into this emotional moment, and then they lower it again. So those contrasts for me were very nice, but also trying to find the right shots to tell this, because sometimes you can create them on your storyboard, but once you are on set, you have to make some changes. In this case, I'm shooting the whole film in just one space, and I wanted to create levels. So we have the first level when they're standing, the second level when they are in bed. That will be actually the third level, and the second level when they are like sitting in bed. So in a way, me being able to see those three levels gave me different ways of seeing the room. When we're seeing in this third level, that is when they're laying down in bed, we're seeing everything down. It's a different room to when we're seeing them when they are standing up. So this was the perfect moment to show a different space, to create more of the room, give a little bit of breathing to the space, And I think it's just also very nice the way they approach the scene.
Do you want me to heat them up?
Only if you have ice cream.
I do.
Shut up. You should have led with that. I'm obsessed with ice cream.
Really?
Yeah, I am obsessed. Like, I could eat it every day if I could.
Always so greedy?
Only with the delicacies.
It was also, I'm stopping on this dialogues because those were very difficult dialogues when I was writing them. And even me thinking, how are they going to say this so it can sound the way I'm feeling them? And I think it's so nice the way Mackenzie did an amazing job. Also, his whole research in the LGBT community and his approach to the character. And the way he says the dialogues is, in my consideration, very believable.
Okay, I'll be back in 5.
Just don't judge.
Let me stop there. You see, that's the door. There's actually 2 doors. One, the other one is the bathroom, and the other one is the door of the apartment. Just for this shot, I closed the door so we could feel they were in this closed space. But during the whole shooting, the 2 doors were open, and one had the mirror and the other one had the light. They were coming in and they were bouncing this light toward the bed. And also as a cinematographer, I'm not a cinematographer, I'm a director, but I do cinematography for many of my short films, and I'm not using a light meter. We shot this short film in 7-8 hours. So it was very challenging to try to create a unique atmosphere, that the light had continuity. With me not having that expertise, I'm not having something to measure the light. So what happened actually in this scene that you're going to see, since we shot the film not in the same order, during the shooting, we knew that Mackenzie, the person who's playing Sam, had to leave earlier. So I needed to shoot, it was actually Michael, the one who needed to leave early, the one playing Kevin. So I needed to I was going to stay with Mackenzie, with Sam, a little bit longer, and it was going to end up at night. So I decided to do this whole scene when he stays alone. That was the last scene we shot. You can see that it's darker, that is more at night. And I remember one of my assistant, Angela, she's actually a script supervisor in movies. She was like, this is not going to have continuity. You cannot shoot this like this. And the reason I gave myself was because now he was going back again to his space, close space in his mind. I'm not dating. I don't want to date. Where am I? So he lost that big shiny light coming. He still has it, but there's like this texture, and he will sit on the bed and look at the window, and the light coming will create this texture in his face, and it's like he's trying to get to the light, but then it will like disappear a little bit. That introduction of the stars, which we saw also at the beginning of the film, is just me planting that small secret or that seed, so we understand what's going to happen there after. And the stars are always calling Mackenzie, like we as a crew, my team, we call all those moments the magic moment. In Kisses to Kevin, when the stars, or Chasing Coffee with the colors. And for me was the magic moment. It's calling Sam, it's calling him, but that's why the stars are still far away. He hasn't accepted this call. He will soon. I love this take because that moment when he raises his hand was the only. Most of the shots here are just 1 or 2 takes, and I was shooting him. I was telling him that he was feeling the fan, the air, and he decides to move and touch it. And I was very fast to react, and I was able to tilt up. And I love that moment because, again, I felt it was Sam trying to grab all of these things that were telling him, you're comfortable, you are at home. From the light, from the cool air, from how comfortable he feels in his room. But the whole moment of the hand was something Mackenzie as an actor brought to the table, and it was so nice that then I did this next shot as a just to complement the storytelling, because I knew I had and grabbed a very nice moment that came spontaneously by him. Here you see is that moment. He just sat to try to call the light, to receive the light. And if you see, that's the haze, the smoke that we added to the scene, and it gives a lot of texture. I love that texture. Let me cut. I don't know if you can see the whole atmosphere, how it's a little bit, of course I try to level it, but it feels a little bit darker, and I like that. At the end, I felt it was the best decision to shoot this scene at the end, because again, it gives just this, it's like him in the dark trying to find the light, and the light is this guy, he's grabbing a picture, and everything is making him feel related. The stars, the ghost, this picture, like he feels, then he sees cats. So everything he's seeing, it's making him feel at home in a way, so he can understand he belongs to Kevin. So I'm back. I was saying about the tape that was created for Imperfect People. If you go to one of the episodes of Imperfect People, you'll see it. It was created for the same reason. I didn't like white walls. I was giving a little bit of this yellowish hue to the walls, but we needed to create texture. So that's just black tape, trying to create a little bit of that. Everything was shot handheld. I was always shooting handheld, and I was usually using around a 70 millimeter, 80 millimeter for mostly all of the film. And I was doing autofocus and I was doing handheld. So whatever you see of movement, it's not tripod. This moment was very special. Here is when you see the light, and the texture of the light is going back to what it was before. And I love this moment because for me it was, now Sam is completely relaxed. He felt at home. Everything he felt it was his own place. He felt asleep, and it's been only 5 minutes. That's how comfortable he was. And when Kevin comes in and sees him, he's looking to the love of his life. This is what he wants. He wants him to stay always there. And it's him seeing that future he wants.
Oh, I'm ready.
I did a little bit of extra punch when I was editing the movie. That's why everything is a little bit too close. And the reason for me was because I wanted to be inside their eyes in a way. And I didn't just want us to feel we were there. I wanted us to feel we were them. And for me, that conclusion was just punching a little bit more even in post that it was initially shot as.
I look really good. You're the first one trying this new recipe.
Are you a chef?
No, but I've always had a dream of opening a bakery one day.
I love to always, I think they call it, or the French or the Italian, when they're shooting from their backs. I love those shots. And again, for me, it was a way to just create more rhythm in the space. We're always in four walls. And how could these walls create more texture, create more depth? And I feel sometimes when you see them from the back, there is, it first looks more, in my consideration, more cinematic, but you're able to see pieces of the face that you're not able to see when, I don't know, when you're in front. I just love to have most actually of the dialogues, I like to shoot it this way.
Since you like ice cream so much, you can tell me if it's good. I have one of those.
Something important with that shot is that those brownies, they were one of our sponsors. It's Lula Brownies. She sells these brownies in LA, and they have the star. So it was a very nice coincidence. And the ice cream that you are looking at, it's not really ice cream. It's mashed potatoes. Juliet, our producer, was the one who did the ice cream. I have shot so many films with ice cream because I love ice cream. And at the beginning, for example, Magico didn't have fake ice cream. It was real ice cream, and we were shooting that in a beach in LA, and it was so complicated that I decided we needed to create this formula of how we were going to make ice cream look real with mashed potato. And we did it. Most of the things you're going to see are mashed potato, except one of the shots when he's putting it in the mouth, because I needed it to feel very real, and we were in a close-up. That's the only moment when we had a real ice cream. The reason why is because ice cream melts very fast, and we needed to change every time for every take, change it to a new scoop. So with just mashed potato, you don't need to do that.
Did you do the ice cream too?
I should have just said I bought it, right?
So if you see, this is actually the only shot that we use the tripod, because I needed to do the Hitchcock effect, but I also wanted it to feel very Ratatouille. And I love that I saw one of the comments that said something about Ratatouille, and I was like, oh, they got it. Ratatouille is one of my favorite movies, and that reaction of Ego when he's eating the Ratatouille, it's beautiful, and I wanted to make it feel exactly the same. Of course, I couldn't go as close to his eyes as on the original, but I wanted it to make it feel so very Ratatouille because Kevin, it's a chef. He's making food. So yeah, the whole thing was very inspired in Ratatouille, and now the stars are down. This is actually the first shot we shot of the entire film because we needed to create this whole environment. There are probably 50 stars made in origami, made by hand by everyone. Using origami was also very important for the production designer, for Sabrina, because when she created the character is always using a lot his hands. He picks stuff, he creates stuff with his hands. We see that at the beginning when we see the table, and there's the pictures of him, the ghosts, but there's also like buttons and different things he have been collecting. So the origami was a little bit of a way of also how Kevin does things with his hands. This is for our team, we call this the magic moment. I've been creating a magic moment in many of my films. So it's very nice because my crew is also, oh, we're going to shoot the magic moment. And when we're shooting the magic moment, everyone is always very happy. I shot this in 60 frames, the magic moment. The rest was shot in 24 frames. I did like like I said, the Hitchcock effect that is just dolly out, zoom in. I did it in a different ways. I punch in, zoom out, and also the reverse, just trying to see what it worked. And the rest of the shots were using a Ronin. And it was just me trying to create this magical moment, atmosphere of him being a little bit in heaven, him being among the stars and feeling love, because at the end, the ice cream, the stars are just a subtext to the love he's starting to feel. And if you see that shot, you see the star and it has the string even coming out. You know they were tied with a knot by hand. And that was part of something that we wanted in the film, for it to feel a little bit raw, a little bit rustic, or how do you say that? Like that it has life. And also because, again, Kevin creates things with his hands. So it was a little bit of him bringing down the flowers to Sam when giving him love. The last shot, that's the only shot I had so much difficulty in trying to color it. I don't know why that shot looks like that. It works in the whole film, but it always takes me out a little bit because I don't understand what happened in terms of cinematography. That's the only moment where the real ice cream was. And it was funny because we were not going to use the ice cream. We had ice cream of the same color, but we were giving Mackenzie the fake ice cream. And every time he put it in his mouth, his reaction was like, ugh, because it was old mashed potato with coloring and stuff. So his reaction was not good. So we used the real ice cream just for that take. I think we also used it one time when he's like breaking it. So it felt a little bit more real. And I wanted this to be also a little bit sexual. This was the second time for me they were having sex without seeing the sex we saw in the first one. They were now connecting with their own desires and the things they love. Kevin loves to cook, loves to make desserts, ice cream, and Sam loves ice creams. So they are connecting, and when he's putting the ice cream and the other one is savoring with his tongue, it's like he's kissing him. And there's like this sex scene happening just for me through the ice cream, because it's another moment where they are connected, intimate. I remember the direction when I was shooting all of these shots. I was telling them all the time, like, you want to eat that ice cream. You want to kiss those lips. You are desiring. It has to be so much. I have to see it in your eyes so much. Michael did it amazing. And for Mackenzie, for Sam, it was, this is the best ice cream you have had. You love ice cream. You have tried all of the ice creams, but this one is better than all of the ones you had, because it's the same as this sexual moment, this sexual encounter you just guys had was the best one that you have ever had before.
It's good, kid.
The fact that he says kid was also a little bit funny for all of us because they're almost the same age. But it gave a little bit, this was from the script. Also, if you want to read the script, it's also available in both Patreon. But from the script, he was calling him kid. And it was just this cockiness of Sam, of him feeling superior, him feeling above. He controls, he decides. And at the end, it's actually Kevin deciding, Kevin controlling.
It could be a bit more moist, but they're all right.
So, if you're not a baker, what are you wasting your time in?
Nursing.
No way. My dad's a nurse. That's how my parents met.
No way.
Yeah. My dad was a nurse and my mom was in residency to be a doctor.
Let me stop there because this is just also another intimate secret. I have many friends that are nurses. So, like I said, I bring a lot of me and a lot about the people who surround me because I need to write about the things I know. And I know a lot about nursing because many of my friends are nurses, and also because I've been working doing a reality show for plastic surgeons. So I'm around the medical field. So making him a nurse was also a detail that helped me feel comfortable with writing him because I knew a little bit about his passion, his role, the same as it was so nice to give Mackenzie or Sam the fact that he works at Sony. And I was actually thinking, is Sony going to sue me because I'm mentioning their name? But I'm like, no, I'm trying to make an homage about Ghostbusters and Sony and the fact that they were all in some like separate fields, but at the end it was a movie, filmmaking, the one that unites them. I don't know.
It's actually a funny story of how they met, but anyway, no, what I'm trying to say is that your thing is...
I love also this moment. I don't know if you saw Sam, Kevin moving and changing. And in that moment, I changed the whole space. Again, 4 walls in 3 different levels. Now we're again in level 1. We were in level 2. They were sitting. Now they're laying a little bit more. We're more in the lower level. And when he changes, the whole space change. And now we're seeing different backgrounds. So we're never tired of being in the same space.
Making brownies and ice cream, but you killed it with the nursing.
Your parents are still working?
And here for me, it was very important for them to be talking about who they were. We needed to learn about them. We needed to learn who they were, and they needed to open. And Sam needed to open. And this is the moment where Sam is actually opening up to Kevin. He had told him about the cats, but now he's sharing more. He feels comfortable. He just saw stars. He just ate the best ice cream, and I wanted it to shoot it very simple now, just going to their faces, just 2 shots, just medium shots to each one, close-ups of how, like the close-up of his hands is just trying to show what he's feeling, like what he's holding, what he's not able to say. That is how he's controlling himself to kiss him again, to go grab him.
They're retired. They both travel now.
That's nice. What about you? Your profile says you work in some movie studio.
Yeah. I am a accountant at Sony Pictures.
No.
And again, they've been talking for 2 years. They haven't seen each other. They haven't seen each other because Kevin didn't want it to just hook up. But they've been talking, and Kevin finally met. He knew a little bit of him. That's why at the beginning he says, I feel that I know who you are. And Sam is like, no, you don't. But that's how Kevin felt because of all of these conversations. So what Kevin's trying to do is just trying to pick up from what he knew and now receiving more. And for me, it was just going to their eyes. It was not just seeing them from their back, that Italian-French shot. It was now in front. And especially seeing those reactions and seeing how, I remember I told Michael, who plays Kevin, like, you are in awe of him. Everything he's seeing, you're feeling everything. And I want your eyes, again, to feel that you want to kiss him. You're basically looking to his mouth. And look at that, he's always, like, his eyes are always, like, looking to his mouth, like, savoring.
Why does everyone react like that?
Because that's a big deal. Oh my god. You have to tell me, are you like allowed to go see special premieres and stuff? Wait, can you go on the studio tour like anytime? Wait, what? You have to tell me what your favorite movie is. You're not gonna tell me?
You know, it's a funny thing. I do have a favorite Sony movie. Well, okay, it's actually a Columbia.
He never answered his favorite movie, of course, because we have to keep it till the end. But again, this is very personal. Sam doesn't share too much. Sam did share that he lost a cat. But is it now, and he didn't remember that he shared that information. Is he going to share his favorite movie, the one that made him an accountant, the one that made him seek the job he's seeking? He's not going to tell it. That's what is actually at the end going to connect them.
Pictures movie, but you know what I mean. But it goes beyond being my favorite movie. Like, it was because of it that I decided I want to be an accountant.
And yeah, the reason why this clarification, if that's the word, when he's saying that, is because Ghostbusters is not original from Sony. It was from Columbia, and then Sony bought Columbia. So he's trying to explain that without over-explaining it, but at least for everyone who knows the real or the truth, they're like, okay, I understand what he's trying to say. It's just more to those Sony, Colombian, Ghostbusters fans.
Never heard of anyone being an accountant because of a movie. Heard of acting, directing, but accounting?
Oh, yeah? Well, I don't know. I mean, numbers have always been my thing, and it was because of that movie that made me want to do it at Sony. It changed my life as a kid.
Which one?
You asked too many questions, and this delicious brownie is over.
You're kidding me, right?
I better be going. This was nice.
So you saw here, I went from level 1, 2, and 3. And again, it's trying to give rhythm to the room, seeing stuff. We have never seen these pieces of the room, so it's just giving more options for the viewer to feel that they're not they're not trapped in this same four walls, and it just gives emotional, I feel, tension. You know, now he's going to be on the now he's going to be on the third spot, and Kevin is going to be on the first one. That gives me, again, different types of shots, and I'm powerful. Now I'm lower. Kevin has been controlling the whole stuff. Now Sam finally takes control, goes to the second position when he takes his pens, goes to the third position when he stands up. And now we're seeing Kevin from a lower angle, from a high angle. So he is now smaller. He's now feeling he doesn't have the power anymore that he had before.
I'm glad we met. Thanks, kid.
So I don't know if you noticed that when he stands, camera still keeps itself on the second position, because he's trying now to retake the control. Who? Kevin. So it's like, okay, the same as Sam went from first, second, and third, a little bit the same I did with Kevin. Kevin went from first, second, and now he's on the third.
Maybe I can be the accountant of your bakery one day.
I'd like that.
Whoa, hey. If I'm gonna be your accountant,
I don't know if you saw that the door was now open. Usually it was never open. It was now open because I needed a little bit of light coming in from there. Also, this light, yellow light that we put in just to paint those white walls, it was too bright that I had to do a whole post-production just to that light. This light has masking, this light has lower the ISO, the exposure, masking with the other characters crossing by. The big post-production was done to that light.
Why are you so weird, Samuel?
It's Sam.
I know. I just knew you'd hate it.
So then why say it? I'm kidding.
And look that it
Calm.
helps.
Sam.
Look at the black tape on the back, how it creates texture, depth in the background, while Kevin is almost in the yellow, very yellow. It has a little bit of texture from the light, but not that much.
Well, it sounds like my parents.
You can call me Kev, so it doesn't sound like my parents either. I'm actually not too sure if I'm gonna make you my accountant anymore.
You're not?
Not unless you kiss me.
Listen, kid.
Stop calling me kid.
Kev.
And here, when I was writing, this was so entertaining to write because this was the power dynamics playing. Again, the kid, again, I need to take control. I need to take control. We're close to the ending. What's going to happen? And just shot in a very tight, medium close-up, again, felt was the right way to go because I needed to see their eyes.
I don't date. We hooked up. The brownie and ice cream were amazing, but I knew I shouldn't have, but
You can feel the light that I'm telling you that I did all this post-production here a little bit different. Here again, it's all masked, it's lower, so now you can actually see it that much. But yeah, that was something I realized when I was editing.
so cute. Seems impossible to say no to you.
You just did.
I don't want to confuse stuff.
Because you don't date.
I don't.
I don't either. Relax.
See you around then?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you noticed before a little bit, when there was a wide shot, let me actually go back. Let me show you where it can be. Before this one. Here in 11:12, you see that there are some stars coming down because he's starting to feel, he's starting to embrace. So magic is coming down again, very subtle.
Seems impossible to say no to you.
You just did.
I don't want to confuse stuff.
Because you don't date.
I don't.
I don't either. Relax.
See you around then?
I love this moment also because I'm very, very specific with the actions I want my actors to do. And I'm very, I'm very picky also with the dialogue. Most of my dialogues are said exactly the same as I wrote them. And I'm very picky with that. But I also love when an actor gives a little bit or a lot. It really depends on when I'm blocking the scene. I usually block a scene and I let the actor first give me all they have. I let them play the scene. I'm seeing it. And once I see that, I really start the blocking, taking things that I knew I wanted and adding a little bit of them. For example, I never thought Kevin was going to lay down and close his eyes. And when he did it, in the blocking, I was like, we need to keep this. The same as when Sam tries to grab touch the fan. So things we need to keep because it's coming from their heart. It's coming from the realness as the actor and the character feeling the actor feeling the character. And it makes it so real and beautiful. And every time I see it, just because I know he as an actor gave me that moment, I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, sure.
here before. Let me stop. Here are the few pieces I tell you that that he's always collecting. The buttons that are in one of the cans. This hourglass is from another short film I did when I was back in school, so it's just bringing a little bit of it. This other origami bird that you're going to see it, that it's like covered. That origami that is like orange, that's also something that you will see recurrent in many of the films I do with Sabrina Suarez, the production designer. That's an homage she does to her father. And she will always place those birds somewhere, those origami birds, and we know that his parents, her father being present in our movies. The same I do with my cats.
What's up with all the ghost stuff?
I was obsessed with Ghostbusters when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. What? You just said no dating, no accounting, no kisses.
I feel like I need to pay for the best brownie.
This last moment, it's funny just to see the Christmas lights on the back. I use a lot of Christmas lights just because I feel that helps with the texture. But this was one of the last shots before Kevin left that we shot with them together. And again, we're back to the kissing, a little bit the uncomfortableness for me to shoot these scenes and me knowing that the actors might feel uncomfortable. So I like to do it fast, and I like to fast, not just because I wanted to take it out of the system, but because I want everyone to know we're going to give it all in less takes that we can. So we don't have to repeat, so we can give all to that moment. And that was probably 1 or 2 takes with it. I let them, this was the only moment that I told them, like, kiss for 5-10 seconds and let me play a little bit with the camera, moving it around. I'm not going to shoot it in 60 frames. I'm going to still keep shooting in 24 frames. And let me see how I can make somehow now light touch them. And what I end up doing was repeating the kiss in editing. Is what you see. It's the same kiss, just repeated 2 or 3 times. And yeah, that's Kisses to Kevin, the short film. This is a project I'm very grateful for because it had helped me a lot with a lot of connections. I have read a lot of beautiful comments. It has helped my YouTube channel grow. And we actually love this project so much that I wrote a series of Kisses to Kevin. It has 8 episodes, each episode of 10 minutes. It's amazing. It will be played by the 2 actors, but it's yet not confirmed. We are trying to look for producers. We're doing negotiations. We're trying to see what's the best way to do this project. If you want to support this project, don't hesitate to contact me and go to my website. And also, if you want to check more of Kisses to Kevin, scenes that were deleted and specific takes of how they were made, go to Bo's Patreon. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon. Bye.